good morning. It's a real pleasure to have you here today with me, Maggie. If you could just introduce yourself for our audience, that would be fantastic.
Well, thank you, Vicky. It's a pleasure for speak here. I was lucky to get involved in the industry early. So after my graduation, I worked in Red Circle law firms for a few years. I supported China Mobile Group in its negotiation with Google and RIM, also called Research in Motion. So I had the opportunity to see the tech trend early. Then I moved to in-house at Motorola, where I witnessed the evolvement of technology from 2G to 3G, then to 4G. In this process, I saw the collapse of all the giants, such as Nortel, Motorola devices, and old Nokia. I also saw the rise of new giants, such as Apple, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Then I moved to a Swedish automobile company, the Volvo Group, where I received systematic training on the business of automobile industry. And then when Tesla came to China, I was lucky enough to ride the tide with Tesla to see the evolvement of China into the biggest NEV market in the world. So I think I was lucky to support business in the fast-growing industry. I think the in-house team does a lot of things. Instead of sitting back as an approval function, the legal team works side by side with business team as trusted advisors. We worked on a wide variety of issues such as general corporate matters, IPR matters, and merger acquisition, financing. And currently we are supporting business to do a de-SPAC in the US. Yeah.
Varied role. What would you say in terms of what you've done has helped the companies that you've been with navigating some of the legal complexities that you might face in a tech environment?
We just supported in general corporate matters. We help business to do commercial contracts, labor and legal issues relating to the specific business modes. We do IPR matters. We help to build a cross-border IPR portfolio, as well as ranging from, we do like a support business team in dealing with trademark laws, trademark piracy legal issues, trade secret lawsuits, patent infringement lawsuits. We also help business to do acquisition. We lead negotiations, including the price negotiation, documentation, due diligence. And we also do policy lobbying and legislation lobbying because in a new industry, we have the industry knowledge. We need to reach out to the authorities to help them to set the boundary of the industry. We also do the fundraising activities. We participate in early financing to help business to get the funds. And currently we are helping business to do the de-SPAC in the US market.
So tell us some tips on fundraising for those pre-IPO companies that maybe you could share with us, and perhaps some of your insights, as you say, in relation to SPAC and de-SPACing, which you can talk to. I'm sure a lot of our audience will be interested to hear about that.
I'm also learning. I think this very first step is preparation. You need to spend time and resources to get the house ready. Primarily files, documentations, references to satisfy investors' information and due diligence requirements. We need to hire professionals, third parties to validate the company's performance and the value. That's where a lot of accounting firm comes into play. And so we need to attract reputable and influential shareholders to anchor the upcoming IPOs with the right mixture of strategies in the financial and domestic and international institutions. Because with those institutions, with the right mixture, that guarantees the long-term growth of the company after it is listed. The third one is you need to cast your net far and wide. You also need to treat each investor differently because the type of investors who invest in and who don't invest in near public companies, it's unclear. So you just need to reach out to as many companies as you can to try to set up meetings with a wide variety of institutions. And the investors are like people, they are not all at all the same. So you need to treat them differently so as to respond to their specific requirements and preferences. I think the fourth one is you need to educate the investors and the public in general through measured PR, and also to raise company profile if needed. Try to leverage existing shareholders' support to showcase their confidence in the prospects and the team's ability to execute and deliver results. I think existing shareholder support is very convincing to the new shareholders, and also work super hard to leverage technologies to enable effective due diligence during this COVID period. Raising money is like going through numerous meetings. The process requires unwavering time commitment and perseverance before you can achieve success. I was told, like Li Bing, the Neo, when Neo was in a really difficult time, Li Bing has to speak to 18 cities before eventually he reached a deal with Hefei. So the time commitment can be daunting, but it was the rewards until the deal is closed. And also be very flexible and embrace uncertainties brought by the environment, i.e. the political and the policy risks. I think you might enter into private financing with expectations of size, price, and structure. In the end, the term sheet is shaped by 1 or 2 leading institutions. So I think the primary goal is to close the deal, to raise the fund. So long as the final terms are agreeable to the parties, it doesn't matter how close this may mirror what the original source in mind. So completing the financing is frequently superior to the other alternative. Stay flexible and maintain as many simultaneous dialogue as you can to get the best deal for your company.
So it sounds like you actually have to be quite adaptable to really be able to progress as quickly as you need to get the fundraising that you need to take the company to the next level. That's not obviously the only challenge that early stage companies can face. And I'm sure there are numerous ones when operating and managing a startup company that the founders will encounter, and you sat in the legal seat will be helping them with. Could you give us some insight as to how you overcome those challenges when they arise?
Okay. Yeah, you're right. According to a survey, 70% entrepreneurs believe the company will fail. 66% even believe they will fail in the first 2 years, which means the first 25 months of launching the company. The top reasons for failures are run out of cash, no market need, the firm is outcompeted, is beat by other firms. It has flawed business model, product line, wrong product time, and there are also legal challenges and disharmony among teams or with investors. I think among those challenges, some are business challenges, some are legal challenges. For business challenges, it's never easy to start a business. No one can handle all the challenges alone. So there was an old saying, if you travel alone, you travel far. If you travel in groups, if you travel alone, you travel fast. If you travel in groups, you travel far. The solution to business challenge, in my view, is to have a sound corporate governance in place, have a good team, and have a good board that responds to challenges. More importantly, the board must have information on what is going on in the company. If the management team uses all means to cut the board's access to the information, the investor needs to be careful. The solution for the legal challenges, I think people matters in our industry. The short solution is to use to work with the right party, to work with the right team, use the right counsel. I've seen counsels I've seen a single piece of bad legal advice put a firm out of business. Even if they knew something's wrong, I've seen counsels where they just have no guts to point out issue in a constructive manner. So when they have a duty to point out the issue, they choose to be silent and to keep the status quo. The result will eventually pay back. So stay away from this kind of counsel. I also have numerous respect for other councils I work with. For example, I worked with some US councils who are so really diligent, who repeatedly pushed and educated the team on the right way to get things done. When they gave this kind of advice, when they're trying to push the team to the right way, they even put in the client's interest ahead of their own. I have tremendous respect to those teams. And also I worked with bright legal minds in Cayman Islands who single-handedly shift the legal battlefield with one single move. You want to make friends with those legal minds early. Yeah.
So the key, I think, is having the right partners, not only for the business, but also on the legal side, and making sure that when they're delivering, they're putting you first, putting the client first, which is obviously something we here at Harneys strongly believe in. We put the client at the center of everything, and it's their commercial objectives really that should be driving the strategy when you encounter challenges within the business, or you need to take things to the next level. In terms of different types of partners though, what about your investment partners, Maggie? What are the key elements that the business is going to be looking at, taking into consideration when looking for investment partners to early stage startups?
I didn't work with Harneys. I'm impressed by your moves to change the legal battlefield. So well done, bravo.
Thank you, Maggie.
In terms of the partners, I think our reputation precedes us. So do the due diligence on the investors. Look at investors' integrity, knowledge, record, patience, as well as the wallet size. A good investor is always resourceful. They may bring complementary resources. So make sure you do the reference check, you do the conflict of interest check. Early investor is like a marriage. Whether the investor and the entrepreneur share the same or similar vision, mission, and a value system is very important to the success of the company. The ability to face uncertainties and the courage to make judgment call is very important. So it's like a long journey. It's you need to be optimistic. While I always think a functional board is very helpful to deal with uncertainties. The last one is to be able and be willing to offer. The investor himself must be willing and be able to offer constructive criticism, bringing new perspectives and challenge conventional wisdom, because that's where a startup firm can really make a difference and to win the market. That's all from me.
Well, thank you very much, Maggie. That was absolutely fascinating. And I look forward to having an opportunity to speak to you, hopefully again sometime at our next virtual conference. Certainly, it's been a real pleasure to speak with you this morning and learn some of the tips and tricks of the trade in the tech field. Thank you very much.
Pleasure is mine. Always good to talk to you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.